All right, how is it going? Wow, it's been a long time since I've made one of these videos. Um, I'm sorry, first off, to everybody that was following me. Obviously, I haven't posted in a very, very long time. Um, I'll get more into why in a bit. So, fuck, I don't even know where I was or what my last video was or anything that was happening, really. I mean, I think I was a little over 3 years off, coming off the Valium. Um, I think now I'm at like 4 years, almost 5 years. I think it'll be 5 years this October. So I'm like 4.5 years off. I stopped keeping track. I deleted my tracker app and all that stuff. For I guess everybody wants to know is like, am I better? Am I good? Am I good? I would say yes, for the most part. I don't think I have any residual benzo stuff or damage from benzos. Um, Maybe some like PTSD kind of stuff, which is part of why I haven't posted in so long. So after my last post, I mean, I still had quite a few issues with anxiety and like depression and some nerve pain and stuff. Like my biggest symptoms I had from like the very beginning was the nerve pain and the anxiety. Like those were my two top things. Like the nerve pain was overwhelming. It was like an all over body aching, kind of felt like I had razors all across my bones and muscles, and never found anything really that caused it or got rid of it or anything. I found some triggers for some stuff was taking like glutamine supplements to like try and help my gut. Taking those made me like way worse, and it took me so long to pick up on that, and I don't know why, but all in all, I'm doing a lot better. I've been working full time. I just got back from vacation. I bought a house and moved. I had a son. He's 1 year old now. So yeah, a lot has been happening. A lot has happened, and that's part of me kind of stepping away from making videos and talking about the whole benzo stuff. It was a big part of my life and almost overconsumed who I was for 5 to 8 years. I mean, it was such a big chunk of my life, and it was just everywhere. It was everything. Like every day I had to think about it, and I couldn't take it anymore. It was too much. So once like my symptoms started subsiding, I kind of just stepped away from everything, because even thinking back on it, or like trying to go back and put myself in that mindset, or like even hearing other people talk about it, it was just too much for me. In that, think it was too painful to look back and think on. It was like it brought me down so much to try to move on and move forward and try to see if I was happy and healthy, or if I could be happy and healthy without that benzo stuff in my life. So that was a big part of me stepping away from like the YouTube stuff and the Facebook groups and just all the groups in general. Is I didn't want to keep reading and bringing myself into that loop where I wasn't sure if it was really like my symptoms, or if I just kept staying stuck reading about it, and if I was like part of it was in my head and I was having anxiety about it, you know. So that's why I haven't posted in so long, and it was just, it hurt and was scary and everything to think about, and I didn't want to think about it anymore. It's been too much of me for too long, and I needed a very long break. Sorry I didn't say anything or post anything really, but I've kind of answered a few comments here and there to people that have reached out to me. But anybody that is dealing with this, just know it does get better in time. It takes time. And I had some other stuff going on too. That's probably part of why mine was so prolonged. I mean, I had that mixed alcohol usage. I had started and stopped benzos multiple times. I had other stuff going on with my stomach. I think from antibiotic use, and I think having your stomach damaged, I think prolongs part of the benzo healing process, because there's so many of your like receptors and stuff that are in your gut, and your I don't know if it's like hormones, but like the serotonin and like all that stuff that's made in your gut. Like if your gut's damaged and you have issues, like if you're not absorbing like B6 and magnesium or whatever that converts the glutamate to GABA, like that's part of the whole process. So I think if your gut was damaged, it makes it harder um, dealing with the benzo stuff. So that could have been why mine was so severe, because I already had stomach issues before the whole thing. So um, yeah, so that's part of where I'm at now, and what I've been doing. So yeah, I got a house, moved. So my first house that I purchased or bought myself, so or with my wife, we had a baby boy last April. He's a little over 1 now, and then work's been going good. I've been, for the most part, mentally clear and stuff. I still have issues with my stomach, just because I have such an issue following a diet. It's hard for me to really figure all that stuff out. I've kind of just been dealing with it, and it gives me a little anxiety and stuff, but where I was a few years ago to where I am now is night and day difference. I mean, I'm able to go outside, drive. I just went on vacation for 2 weeks, and I wasn't anxious or stressed about it. So I can do most of the things that everybody else does, and I'm dealing with minor gut stuff that, I mean, millions of people in the world have. So it's nothing like the debilitating and overwhelming the benzo stuff that I had to deal with. So I'm not stuck in my room or stuck in my house. I think one of my last symptoms ago was like I had this. It was a very minor. It was like almost like a fear or anxiety of the sun when it came in to my house, like when it was shady. It was really weird. It's something to do with like when it's shady out, but I see the sun coming in. It almost put me in this derealization state. For some reason, I had that for the longest time. It kind of just kicked me out of reality a little bit. It was very strange. But yeah, I haven't had the nerve pain in probably over a year. I've had some anxiety and stuff, but I've always been an anxious person since I was a child. So it's nothing compared to what it was. But yeah, I don't think any of the problems I have now are related to benzo. So I'm good. I mean, I'm done with it. I've moved on. I'm happy, healthy for the most part, at least relative to the benzo damage and all that stuff. So yeah, I don't know what else to say on it. A lot of people have asked questions. I'm not going through the YouTube in this video, but if anybody has questions or if you want something, let me know. I'm more than willing to respond now and kind of start going back and, I mean, just see what I can do to help people. I know how much of a struggle it is and how hard it is. Obviously, I've been there. It sucks, but I think if me, of all people, can get better, then I think anybody can. And I know there's some people struggling that are more time off than me, or 10 years or whatever. I'm not a doctor. I don't know if it's benzo stuff, if it's something else. For a long time, I thought some of my symptoms were always benzos, but it turns out they weren't. It was something else. So I mean, just always keep your mind open and don't blame everything on benzo damage. I mean, at least always see a doctor and, you know, see what's going on, rule anything else out, and then you can go back to it's just benzo damage or whatever. So I'll never take another benzo again in my life. I'll probably never drink alcohol again ever in my life, even though I still do have cravings. But I was a pretty big alcoholic before I started taking benzos, so almost in a way it was a good thing for me because it got me to stop drinking. And I don't think I would be at as well a position as I am now if I continued to drink, because I was more of a degenerate and I just didn't really care about anything. It made me very emotional and depressed and unable to focus, and I'm glad I stopped drinking. So it's been almost 5 years now since I stopped completely, basically when I stopped benzos. So I think it was all for the best. I wish I didn't have to struggle so much to learn that lesson or to get me to stop drinking alcohol. But I'm not one to say, I mean, it all happens for a reason, but I think it could have went a number of other ways. I mean, I could have died or anything, but luckily I'm still here and I get to take care of my family and continue to live. And I feel for the people that aren't as lucky, it's hard. I mean, I thought about killing myself multiple times, nearly every single day, in the beginning. But if you're thinking those thoughts, it's important to know, I mean, it does get better. I have tried to kill myself before. It was probably, I don't know, 8 to 10 years ago or something like that. And I regret it all the time. Every time I think about it, I'm just thankful I didn't succeed, because I think about how happy I was afterwards, and how if that would actually went through, that I would have missed out on all these things. Like my family, part of my family wouldn't have been born, like my kids wouldn't know me, those kind of things. So it sucks, but sometimes we have to deal and struggle through those times in our lives to start to see happiness again. And I think it's important to talk about. I know people are kind of wishy-washy about like talking about suicide, and you can't talk about it in a lot of the groups. Like you can't say suicide or anything because it's triggering, and like a lot of them would delete my posts, and I'm like, why are you guys not wanting to talk about like suicide and these things in these mental health groups when it's such an important topic? And I've brought it up about where I've thought about killing myself in those groups before, and I swear my posts have been deleted. And it's like, all you're looking for is help, and it's like, I know nobody can help in those situations. I don't think talking didn't really help me a whole lot. I mean, nothing does. Nothing helps when you're in that position, and you want to die, and you want to die just to escape the pain. Like, it consumes you. You don't want to go on when there's nothing left for you, and it's almost like a relief, a way to escape that everyday numbing pain that just keeps eating away at you until there's nothing left. I know exactly what that feels like, and like thinking you can't go any further down. But I mean, it turns the corner, it comes around. I feel like a different person, honestly, from who I was a few years ago. Thinking to now, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like I don't even know who that person was. Looking back, I don't even thinking about like my past before that, like when I was drinking alcohol and stuff. Like looking back, it's like, who was that person? Like, was that really my life? Like, that's who I was, or like, I don't know. Looking back, it's almost like my past it feels fake. It's hard to explain, but I don't know if that's because I have brain damage or like things have just changed so much. But I feel good with where I'm at. It's just really hard to look backwards. It's hard to talk about. I don't know. I was never a very talkative or social person or anything, so I'm more introverted, and making these videos from the start was never me trying to help anybody. The very first video I made was me looking for answers because I was scared and I didn't know what was happening to me. And then it was only when other people started to relate to me that I kind of continued making them, and then other people said it helped them. So that's the only reason I kept doing it. I just, thinking back on the fear and everything I felt, it's not something I want to feel again or to go through again. I don't know if I have PTSD or whatever from it, but it's not something I really like talking about. So yeah, anyways, if you guys have questions, let me know. Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy to be where I'm at today. I got a beautiful home, beautiful family. I got a great job. There's not much more I could ask for. I mean, I wish my stomach was the only thing, but I mean, for the most part, that's minor problems compared to what some people have, so I'm not really complaining too much. But, sorry, my shirt's really... I've been outside doing yard work all day. yeah, uh, let me know. I think that's all I really got to talk about. So I'm sorry it's taken so long to make an update. But a few of you have been asking, so I'm making one now, and I hope this answers any questions. And I hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, thanks, guys. Bye.